welcome back to Smiley's. Today we are tackling Chapter 22 of Fall of Light by Stephen Erickson. I am joined today by Maura. Hello, Maura.
Hi. We should also mention Fall of Light is the second book in the Carcanos trilogy, which is a spin-off series from the Malazan Book of the Fallen,
We're pros.
which also has... Sorry?
We're pros at this by now, you know? Like, we need to fill everyone in
Of
on
course,
the details
of
after
course,
23 episodes plus a few. I'm probably missing a few. Anyway.
Okay, so how's this chapter? Was it fun?
Yeah, it's got a lot of lore bits. So I'm gonna miss a few. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it either. So you're gonna need to keep your eyes and ears peeled.
What are these lore bits?
We'll get to that.
Okay, so do we have a spoiler warning?
I mean, we're gonna spoil everything that isn't, like, I don't know, The God's Not Willing, probably. And the novellas.
No, we're not going to
spoiling
spoil the last... No, we're not going to spoil the last 4 chapters.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're okay.
23, 24. Yeah.
So.
Okay, shall we get to it?
Yeah. So, scene 1 is between Skillen and Cruel, which, if you've read the chapter, you probably know what the scene's going to be titled. You speak of love, because... Okay, this is going to come up a lot. We're going to get to that as well. So.
Yeah.
Cruel and Skillen land on a plane in the lands of the Jellic. Since Skillen isn't particularly fond of the idea of dodging missiles, and he wearies a flight. Cruel by now is exhausted, bloodless, and hungry, but nevertheless agrees to walk alongside Skillen, who is probably similarly pissed off the Jellic, as he has done everyone else throughout the story, it seems. Now,
Excuse me, he doesn't piss off people.
Yeah.
He
does protest.
Yeah, he does
claims
tell us.
that he generally tries to be nice, and invariably his attempts seem to end in discord. Cruel lets the notion go for the time being, but he notes that he doubts passive aggression is what afflicts the Jellic. Yeah. There's a lot of sass between these two. So, an encampment lies ahead, and the two Azathani decide to walk over, contemplating all the while how the Azathani themselves seek to flee from their worshippers, only to find themselves playing God to a different set of worshippers, as one does. Cruel posits...
As who does?
As, someone...
As a father fleeing his wife and children.
Oh, yeah. No, we're getting to that
Does
too.
it remind you of anyone? Oh, sorry, you haven't reached
Yeah,
it
no. We're getting to that. It's a thing. It's a thing. So yeah, Cruel posits that it's down to acknowledging one's maturity, and godhood's a delusion that afflicts mortals and immortals alike, while simultaneously positing, not for the first time, the potential existence of a deity beyond the Azathani, a delusion that Skillen compares to, as Maura mentioned, family relationships. And that comparison has been drawn before, both by Coria playing goddess to her dolls, and by the Tiste as a whole, with Mother Dark.
Yeah, do you think, Drac has done this again and again? Is it what he's doing now with Mother Dark?
Can't answer that.
This is not a video pod anymore. You can't just shrug your shoulders. You have to say, I am shrugging my shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm shrugging my shoulders because I can't answer that this one time. Maybe. To be fair, deities being compared to families is not particularly new among any mythology you care to name. If you go as far back like Sumeria and 3500 BC, you'll probably find mother and father deities. But it is a thing, let's just say, in Fall of Light in general. With the only people that seem to have avoided that, incidentally, are probably the Jagat, and I wonder why that is.
Yeah.
An non-exhaustive... I'm riffing here. The non-exhaustive list would be Kilmandaros, who is compared to as the mother of the Sail. You have Mother Dark, Father Light. You have... I'm forgetting. There's Oler and Burn for the dog runners. I guess Kilmandaros also catches the Thelagai. Warbitch is later, not in this book.
But there is someone here. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
I was going to shut up.
Yeah, no. There's more. The only people whom this doesn't really seem to affect are the Jagat, because they're probably godless breaks. Anyway, Skillen continues that children are wont to ape adult concerns, all the while maintaining a childish core of their hearts, delighting in suffering caused unto others, especially without consequences. Does it not fall then to deities to set a moral standard? That's an open question, by the way.
Yeah.
Cruel then replies that Skillen, who attempted to set a moral standard among the King Train Yamali, has taken the form of a winged assassin and delivered slaughter himself, as the child within him lashed out, which Skillen aptly describes as infuriating, which, yeah.
Right. So, what does this tell us about Cruel? Cruel as a guy?
Or a gal. Could be both.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. I didn't just assume. No, I'm just saying that it does come up later, but his whole idea of being humble, yes, that I could do with some humility.
Yeah.
Isn't that like his whole thing? Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. He does not claim ownership of his magic. He gives it freely without setting himself as like somewhat special, unlike Erastus, who absolutely does. So we're getting to that as well. That's in this chapter. It's just we're mentioning it now because we have to get things done.
Because it's all connected, right?
Yeah. Now, Cruel replies by saying that he speaks to encourage humility, as Mora mentioned, a trait the Azathanai are really known for. Now, the role of a deity in a religion is also a question discussed extensively in Full of Light. Like, say, I don't know, Mother Dark, Fall of Light, Father Light, shit. The Shake. And as for setting moral standards, you can see in Chapter 10 with Grisenthal remembering how he became a god of vengeance to the assailed by killing everybody. A god of justice, rather, not vengeance, albeit for the assailed, basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, a part of a wolf pack that's been following them breaks off to intercept them. A woman veers into a half-naked angelic form and chastises them for despoiling sacred ground. Sacred ground, which the Azathanai are unaware of, because the normal signs, that being cairns, aren't present anymore due to Tiste looting, and the borders are instead marked via more primitive methods. And, of course, the despoilers will be slain, so that's bad news.
I mean, if you already pissed on that earth, how are you going to despoil it? What can you do worse?
They're dogs.
We're not going to answer that, but yeah.
I mean, they're wolves, not dogs, but yeah, I mean...
Also, can I just quickly say...
Yeah?
Doesn't it seem like the more into Fall of Light we go, the less all the women wear? We just had, like, those dog runs in the last chapter. Then like in this chapter.
Yeah, which is funny because it's winter, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like so crucial that even though it's winter, that these guys don't need a... This is the way they're going to show it, right? Yeah, it's just something to notice.
Skillen, rather overtly, though I assure you with great and palpable regret, threatens to kill the Drellic because he can't be arsed to fly. Nevertheless, the two do sense an Azathanai beyond and make a request to pay their respects to their kin. The Drellic outright distracts them.
Who's this Azathanai?
Yeah.
Who is this mystery Azathanai?
Oh god, yeah. The Drellic outright rejects them, stating that Farander Tarag, which is a great name, no longer views them as kin and having divided themselves in perpetuity. Skillen, rather drolly, points out that Farander was an arrogant bastard and the only person capable of tolerating their company was themselves. So, it only makes sense. Cruel accedes and informs the Drellic that they will be moving through and they'd best steer clear, at which point he asks Skillen if his words were meant only for Cruel, to which he replies, of course not. Like I said, palpable regret.
What's the point of a warning if they don't hear it?
Yeah.
Right. So now, reading these two, at least in this chapter, made me think that there should be some spin-off or fan fiction or something, where these two are like a buddy cops.
Yeah.
Skillen and Cruel, going around just like catching criminals and stuff.
Skillen, like...
Wouldn't that be so fun?
Cruel calls in a favor, right? So, like, Skillen's the only person who can do this job. So, the setup is all there.
Yeah. And they have the good cop, bad cop. They already have the routine down.
Yeah. See? Get on again.
You should write it.
Anyway.
So.
We didn't mention it because, it should be obvious, but in case it wasn't obvious to some, this is Azathanai who's divided themselves in perpetuity with a suspiciously familiar name. You can probably figure out who that is.
Yeah, say it.
Oh, yeah.
God, Tog and Faraday.
Faraday.
I don't remember the
Faraday,
Book of the Fallen name now.
Faraday is a different person.
I know, that's the name that's coming to me. What? Tog? I know Tog because of
Faraday.
Faraday. Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I bet Erickson tries to remember this. I'm sure he doesn't remember and he just put Faraday there and then just decided to roll with it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sorry, Steve. Come back to our pod.
Okay. The mentions of Tiste invasions bring the duo to discussions of the wild and nature versus civilization, as you do. This is Full of Light. And Skillen concludes that nature must ever retreat before civilization, for the wild can do naught but die. Cruel disagrees,
but
pointing out that civilization is ephemeral and its gifts ultimately lead to its destruction, and you can probably see behind me Gothos waving. Skillen counters.
I was literally looking, have you got something in your room? Okay.
Skillen counters by claiming that Cruel gave civilization the means to destroy nature, but Cruel replies that civilization would find a way anyway. and brings up the chain obsession with technological advancement in order to do so. This is not a new conversation, in case you guys have forgotten. This is like the very first time Cruel and Skillen meet. This is the thing we talked about, how the chain disregard nature as something interesting, and they reduce it to mundane banalities so they can justify easier destroying it. So we're past this point for the chain, which is why this works and Skillen shuts up, right? So it's like, dude, you're coming from the people that did this. Don't point the finger at me.
Yeah.
Skillen then concedes, as said obsessions will drive them away from them. They seek to enslave natural laws to their own whims, having lost track of humility along the way. Indeed, if he hadn't lost his Skykeep, he would be alone, pondering the peace of solitude. Now, I mentioned already. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I think we talked about it when it first came up, right? That it's probably maybe.
Oh, is it the second time this is coming up? Okay.
Yeah. When they met Mail, he talked about how he lost the mountain.
Yeah. Do you think Male Bastard just hid it from them?
Could be.
And then forgot about it?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll
I mean, why would it tell Bale that it's lost and then he's like secretly hiding it in the ocean? Maybe. So they twist the very blood in their children. What does it mean? How can you twist blood?
Oh, that's Malazan, right? So people don't understand genetics. Unless you told the Hound, some random guy in Durgistan.
You can, but it's a very cool way of saying like genetic engineering. Instead they say, oh, they twist the very blood in their children. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a nice challenge for an author to describe like real world concept in like a medievalish setting. Like, how do you talk about people, lizards, who are like morphing their own bodies by manipulating genetics? Difficult. So yeah.
But maybe it's not too off because you have like actual bees and ants and all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think till they're born, they don't get divided into like soldiers or
You get drones.
Bees or something like that.
Yeah. They're drones.
So they change once they're born. No. Do you know at the egg level that this egg will be, growing into like a soldier ant?
Yes.
And this egg will become a queen ant?
As far as
do you know at the egg level?
The chain go, yes. As far as the bees and ants go, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
But for the chain, we know that that's true because each drone...
It's the oils and
It's the oils, but they can actually morph into a different thing, right? You have in Dust of Dreams, right? When the Icarium goes to Galtharudid, he finds Sulkit, is the drone's name, who is destined to be a Vegath. I don't remember what it is. Not a queen anyway, but it morphs into a queen to boot up the nest.
It can turn into... Yeah.
So they can actually do that.
So maybe it's not just it's not genetic engineering. It's just like regular stuff.
Probably.
Like normal things what we see in this world. Who knows?
Yeah.
But then, if you're like morphing knives, that is not natural. That's not organic. No?
I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if it's like keratinous or chitinous or like if it's actual steel they just like implant after the fact.
Yeah, why don't we know that yet? Is it like Wolverine style? Or is it just like unicorns?
Who knows?
Correct. That's a very good question. Why hasn't anyone asked this?
I don't know.
Okay. You're telling about real world things in fantasy settings.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you read House of Chains, it's like you can almost miss all the nanobots in that thing's stomach or something.
It's bowhunters.
It's like...
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, it's because summer comes up. Yeah, right. So the thing is, it's quite hard to notice that this is what this is talking about. Mechanical nanobots.
So for anyone who's unaware of what we're talking about, in Yukarat, the Bone Hunters, Karsa rolls up, kills an Aruk, Samar dissects it, and rather than stomach acid, they find like a bunch of nanobots within its stomach that are digesting its food for it, which is cool.
And they all just stop working, right? Once they're out.
Yeah.
And I think at that point she also stops and thinks about civilization, as one does.
Probably.
You see the Kachen Chamel. Are we Kachen Chamel? Are we that? Is it what Steven's trying to say? That we humans are so advanced?
I think the Kachen are like a step beyond the culture, Like, have you read Banks' Culture? It's like a post-scarcity society.
I've not.
It's a post-scarcity society.
I want to, though.
The Kachen are a step beyond that. They have enslaved natural law. They have anti-gravity. They have a whole lot of shit that we don't.
No. I'm not talking about the cool science fiction part of it. I'm talking about like at a metaphorical level.
No.
Are we
also no. I think the Tiste parallel humanity much more, which is partly the point. Because the Kachen have reached a greater part in as much as, like, at first they are like, okay, well, we're gonna bend everything to our own will, and they lose the magic, quote unquote, what is in the natural world around them. By the time we actually meet them in the Book of the Fallen, they've shifted from that onward to, like, life is magic, and magic is life.
Yeah.
So in killing somebody, you kill magic. Like, what can you imagine a greater crime? So I think the Kachane have reached such a post-scarcity level where they don't need to worry about pretty much anything, because a single nest is self-sufficient in perpetuity, right? Like, a matron is born, and then she creates whatever her nest needs. So they have no necessary things to do beyond what the nest requires of them, so they can think about things, you know?
It is very straying, very off the chapter. But the best way to, like, sell me on culture is to just call it post-scarcity. This is such a like, nice concept.
Yeah.
I want to read it. But that's, again, another 10 books, right?
Probably more. But I remember, like, Cam told us to read it way back when we interviewed him, so...
He did?
Yeah, no, they mentioned it. I think both of them mentioned, like, Ian Banks as an influence.
We'll get to it. We have so many other books to get.
Now,
we have to talk about books we've already finished.
Yeah. We should talk about this book. So, one last thing before I move on.
I meant, like, Broken Earth, but go on.
Sorry. That too. Yeah, sure. Other books that we read.
Yes. Go on.
Thing extra I have to add on this matter is, like, regarding describing futuristic and science shit in a way that would be described by someone who lives in a medieval setting. That's basically most of Broken Empire by Lawrence and Book of the New Sun by Wolf. So if you like that kind of thing, read Wolf. Anyway, back to Full of Light.
No comments. Yeah.
We mentioned this motif of civilization versus nature. If you've ever read Malazan, you probably recognize it practically everywhere. The most pertinent example here would be someone like Sedok or Torrent, Nest of Dreams. The most prominent throughout the books, I would say, is Calor and Karsa in Hounds, who developed the entire theme throughout, but from, like, opposing sides. Not pertinent to this episode, so we're gonna continue. Now, Cruel mentions how solitude brings angst, which, yes, we can tell.
Angst. What's that?
Since
I'm too far above.
Yeah.
Angst.
Since contemplation is inimical to most individuals by its very nature, people deceive themselves into believing that everything is going along just fine. Skillen's lack of awareness regarding that inimical nature displays a worrying lack of understanding of civilization, which is a bit rude and presumptive from Cruel, you know?
Yeah.
Skillen discards that argument by claiming that he's not a savior of civilization. He spends time amongst mortals because he's bored.
Yeah, so good.
Which, okay,
and
yeah.
Why? What does he want? He's so bored. He doesn't care about missions. He doesn't want lies.
Yeah.
He wants the silence.
A single spark, a beacon of defiance amongst the endless drivel and routine of keep your head down and everything is going to be fine. A voice of unreason amongst the intellectual dishonesty present in such societies. A voice to cast down the excuses and rationalizations of quote-unquote irrational minds, to inform the masses that the gods don't care about machines, lies, and traditions. What the gods listen to for is the whispered opening of a single heart. Cruel rightly interprets as love.
I know.
Yeah.
Do Skillen and Silana ever get together?
If I had to guess, probably not in the way we think.
But yeah, they have the same philosophy. So
yeah.
They make a great match.
Like Chain, Skillen claims, look at the night sky and attempt to bind it in laws and principles, as if in doing so they ripen it for exploration and exploitation. In doing so, they shall eventually, should they succeed, chain the very heavens to the same venal desires they themselves hold. Skillen asks Cruel what he sees when he looks at the night sky, to which Cruel replies, he feels wonder. And wonder, my friend, is the intellect's most feared foe. It's so pretty, no?
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
It's very pretty. But this comes up again and again, that curiosity and wonder is like the opposite of intellect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I like that argument, though.
I don't think it's...
I mean...
I don't think
I don't
the
know
argument,
how exactly to put it.
The argument is necessarily the opposite of intellect as a whole. It's like, you should be stupid because not knowing is good. It's that in trying to reduce things down to, like, pure logic or pure rationalism, you miss another aspect, which, I mean, Steve has seen a whole lot of shit in his life, I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm not lived his life, but I imagine that in his experiences, one would often find themselves in a situation where they look upon the world like, holy shit, this place really is pretty. And such intellects like the Kachane reduce that to mundane banalities of like, oh yeah, like take Hostenrald from earlier, like chapter 15 of this book, right? Did I look upon virgin fields and hills filled with trees and think, oh yeah, this is where I'm going to build my empire? Maybe I did.
No, but see, I don't know. The whole point of it is what I don't like is just because you reduce, say, a pretty sunset to just laws of physics, it doesn't take away its beauty. I don't agree with that.
I don't think it says it takes away its beauty necessarily. The difference is, I think, for some it does. That's what's been described here. Not like it does so automatically. It's when you do that, don't lose track of the fact that it is intrinsically beautiful.
Right.
They've lost the plot.
That makes sense.
Right?
No, that you make sense, yeah.
Conversely, you have this taken to the extreme, which I do agree is somewhat wrong, when like Resh has what is gained in not knowing, humility. Which I think I do bring this up in this chapter. I don't remember. It's been a while. Anyway, you have Raced and Hanako talking about this chapter something. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I know. I forgot a chapter. When they discuss Galan's poem about like the sea does not dream of you. The world is vast. The cosmos is large. Don't lose track of the fact that it's still beautiful by trying to reduce it to equations. Yeah. Okay. We agree. Cool.
Yeah, so, we do.
That is why...
I don't have anything to add there.
Yeah, that is why Skillen will stand at Krul's side. The magic he offers is full of wonder. True wonder. And for all that they, whoever they may be, may seek to cage it, they will inevitably fail, because Krul himself is unknowable. What Krul has done, out of love, out of wonder, will infuriate the world. Something he notes sufficient. Yeah. So I have actually written down what chapter the Raced and the Hanako thing is. It's chapter 12. Because I have written it down.
You have? Oh my god. Okay. How long has it been since you made this notes?
I don't know, like 2 weeks.
If you've forgotten what you typed. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's scene 1.
Section 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I've titled, Shh, the spiders are listening. So this is going to be a bit of a weird chapter from here on. Bear with me. Now, a Thalakai by the name of Kanan Thrall, whom we've heard of back in chapter 5 of this book as an offhand mention by one of Lass's husbands, as some random Thalakai guy that got lost. I don't remember exactly when. He stands guard against the gate to Starville Demoline that was brought forth at the end of the last book, chapter 20, and has since been drawn here by the magic of Ardata. Right? Both because the gates naturally wander and because Ardata is kind of like drawing it close. The temple in which
this section is like, this is particularly frustrating. If you read for the first time, because you don't know that's Ardata, you don't know that's Osserc, and you have no idea who this Skillen is. Yeah. You have no idea who these dragons are. It's incredibly frustrating. But yeah, I hope we can all acknowledge that these are the players here, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The temple in which Ardata resides is old, like really old, and part of its altar have long been corroded away by the bitter, which, note, wasn't always present. Kanan, in his myriad thoughts, which I'm not going to get into, eventually gives away the game. He's staring down Curdle, and neither of them are blinking. It's like they're 10 feet apart, like looking at one another, and it's 2 pages of this guy just talking about like all the different things to get to, oh yeah, I'm looking at a dragon right now.
I mean, oh god. And then his thoughts, it goes round and round. It goes here, there. Imagine Curdle's patience to just wait for this guy to finally think about which Asathana he belongs to. Yeah.
He also thinks on Ardata's words regarding her lover, and how the Sister of Dreams is probably drowned, and also on his own lover, his king, who may or may not be dead. I don't actually know if it's revealed in the text, but it's somewhat implied.
Who is this? Do we know this king? No, right?
Probably not. Like, the Assail have a queen, okay. I have no idea who that is, and so on.
Okay.
Come the night, they would probably fuck because there's scandals better to do, which Kanan finds darkly hilarious. Because of course,
there's just a lot of, I don't know, vulgar stuff.
He's very horny.
It's just, he just says it's like lesser pleasure. Pleasure.
That's true. Anyway, a young guest whose name Kanan hasn't even bothered to ask for. We know it's Osserc, but I don't actually mention it later. Has arrived in their humble abode, whom Kanan quickly sizes up as the potential soul to seal the rent nearby. The irony here is palpable if you read the chapter, I know, but bear with me. He also does contemplate the numerous different ways he could make Curdle blink, but no cigar, like including but not limited to pissing on her snout, which is...
and also
And also, yeah.
Oh, also, he pretends he's going to masturbate to make her blame.
Oh, does he?
He does. A finger to savage the itch. The same pattern.
Oh, that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, true.
See, you blocked it out because it's... Yeah.
It's just dumb. It's dumb.
You tell like I have a limit. Yeah.
Yeah. Furthermore, wait, hang on. Yep. After chiding his guest repeatedly, not the friendliest bloke on the block is our Kanan Thrall, for not eating his horse, the lad finally gets the message and cans it. Good shit, finally.
Yeah.
Kanan's thoughts therefore turn back to the dragon before him, and he thinks about the old goddess and her penchant for punching the fuck out of them, which finally gets a reaction from the Criddle, who is evidently reading his mind and, all of the things that he thought of before. You get the picture. I think he probably knows this.
Yes. Yeah.
They trade taunts in what is admittedly a fairly funny exchange. I mean, you can read it if you like.
She even yawns to let him see this armor stuck in her teeth.
Yeah.
To just show him that I spit out soldiers or whatever.
Yeah.
I make breakfast of mortal heroes. Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Anyway,
Colonel
eventually tells him to look into her eyes for a warning, which is...
Yes. This is oh god, it blew my mind. So it's not look into my eyes, see what I'm thinking. No, literally look, it's a mirror. You can see a dragon flying behind you.
Which, Teleras comes up behind them.
And who's that?
And he is promptly grabbed and thrown like a ragdoll, which breaks his leg in what I think is an open fracture. Ow.
That is called an open compound fracture. Yeah.
Ow. Ardata takes offense, though mostly for courtesy reasons. It's honestly... Ardata is weird. I'm just going to put it out here right now. Ardata is weird.
We didn't know that. What a spoiler. Ardata is weird.
And we're going to get into all the ways that she is weird later. But I just want to point out that, the way she thinks is very weird.
Can I just say, it's so extremely consistent, Ardata's character.
Yeah. No.
Between Esselmont and Erickson, they have such a clear idea on who she is.
Everything's either a quaint affectation or something she's too bored to get used to. I was oh yeah, whatever.
It's
that happens.
So alien. So even Envy has some,
Envy gives a shit.
So what does Ardata tell them?
I think I've skipped a few things, but the gist is that they basically taunt one another again. And now, I'm not sure how to take this, but the two dragons gloat about making use of the Sister of Dreams, which is a thing, and I don't know how to take that.
I think that...
Now,
was she used to seal anything? No.
I think it's the opposite. I think the generous interpretation
she was used to open up.
Yeah, I think the generous interpretation here is that she opened up a gate into this realm from which the 29 on, it was 9, I think, dragons that came through.
Okay. Can I just?
Yeah.
This Teleras says, Ardata, speaking of lovers, where is yours? She was a reluctant soul, to be sure, resisting the snare we made for her.
Yeah.
Mayhap she escaped, but into what? So she was. They tried to use her to seal it, and then she escaped.
But why seal it?
Yeah.
Why bother sealing it?
But they all wanted to go back to it, right? Why?
I think it's the opposite. I don't think necessarily I don't think it's necessarily that the dragons tried to seal anything, but rather use her to open a gate of some sort, or grant themselves power of some kind. Because
maybe they just tried to catch her, and she just took this nearest exit through Corabas and escaped.
I think back in Forge of Darkness, there's a scene with Draconis, Arath, and Old Man, wherein Old Man mentions that if you and Xanth and I head down to the Vitter seeking redress, I suspect this is what happened here. Triss went to the Vitter for her own purposes, and then the dragons came along, and then hold on. But rather than going to the Vitter from this side, because the Vitter is a sea, right, and there's Starboard Demeline, which I believe is where they are, Ardata and company, and the other side, I think she came from the dragon side. I think. I don't know. It's confusing. It's complicated.
No. That's what I think. See, they were all on the other side of Starwell Demlin. They tried to use her for something. Mm-hmm. She took the nearest exit, which happened to be Starwell Demlin over Vitter. Because it has been leaking Vitter, and that's why there's years of the Vitter going on increasing in size
Mm-hmm.
because it leaks.
Mm-hmm.
And because Vitter is too toxic, caustic, so she uses Corabus to save herself, but that erased her memories.
Mm-hmm.
And she's free. She's fine. She's in this realm. But also, because Corabus went through, the door is now wide open, and we had the storm of dragons coming through. But then,
But isn't Corabus dead?
Ardata stepped in. The dead do not stay dead. Corabus is dead. Yeah, I agree. We did see Corabus dead, but then I think the carcass moved or something happened to it.
No. They talk about it here. It's like Triss, I think, either killed Corabus or found Corabus dead, sealed herself inside her carcass, went through into the Vitter Sea,
Yeah,
washed up on the shore, the Glimmer Fate,
the shore.
and then like Krull comes along and says, "There's a dragon carcass on the shore." I'm like, the fuck is that? That's Corabus. So what the fuck? Why is Corabus here? Don't worry about it. I need her. And then he comes to Ardata here and says, "Yeah, so I need help because someone's about to open a gate into the Warren of Death, and like bad shit's gonna happen." That's later, but you know.
Yeah, but it's the same chapter, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So the thing is, so that's what has been happening. So that's where Triss is here, and that's where the Vitter was growing all along.
It's curious. It's complicated. Anyway.
I mean, it's fine. I think we made enough sense of it. I'm happy with this explanation.
Yeah. So Kaden, with a nasty gash, a broken leg, and a wound that's probably going to get infected, is, alas, not much interested in what Ardata have to say on account of hurting. So we'll have to make do. Ardata does make some overt threats. Curdle and Telerast have been around before and were promptly told to kick rocks. And Telerast relates her tale about visiting the Tiste and makes note of their civil war. Curdle inquires about the Grey Shore, roll credits, and Telerast urges her to silence. Ardata, while no doubt having heard, commands her guest to feed the brazier and find something to accommodate Kaden's wounds, because it's Ardata, she doesn't care. We've gone over this. That done, his ethnic continues to make some rather overt threats against the dragons, who elect to change into their Tiste forms, because why not?
Why not?
And Telerast offhandedly mentions that Hust blades are quenched in Vitter.
Yes.
And?
No, they say some... They find... Okay, just tell me that quote again. There was something more to it.
One moment. The black-skinned army bears odd weapons, Tiste iron.
Odd weapons.
Quenched in Vitter.
Oh, but yeah, everyone reacts to it. Because it's quenched in Vitter. And then Ardata talks about the weapons and they say, never mind, they're not yet killing dragons with it. So? It's a dragon killer. And none of us know. The Hust army doesn't know.
Yeah.
So Warren could be a dragon killer and he doesn't know it.
So...
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah, go on.
No, what I want to say is, like, this is the first time there's mention of the Grey Shore, so observant readers and indeed readers that cover the entire chapter.
Are you?
Yeah?
Are you sure this is the first time?
I mean, okay, look, it's the first time they've mentioned
Every
it like
time.
this.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. I'm just sorry.
But yes, it's not the first time we have mention of Grey and Shore in this book. Yes.
No, it's more tangible here. Like, we know that it has not yet come and it's coming. Yeah. And we already have, like, people who are coveting it. Mm-hmm. People who want something from it. Yeah.
Now, as for...
It's nice. I just wanted to say.
As for the quenched in Vitter bit, the Book of the Fallen gives us that the Hust blades are quenched in dragon blood. And Herald says in chapter 15 that they are quenched in the fires of chaos. Which is an interesting distinction.
Oh, that's what he meant.
Yeah.
Shit.
We've probably mentioned it before, but it pays to remember that the Vitter is Paracelmont, who I think AP asked him this, not us. So I can't credit us. Probably AP said it. The Vitter is the manifestation of the concept of flux, or change, as identified by Heraclitus, who is ancient Greek philosopher. Everything is in flux. Everything changes. When a man goes through a river twice, it's not the same river, it's not the same man. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's that guy, okay.
Yeah. Ergo, the concept of order and chaos, creation and destruction, battling one another, are very much present in the Vitter, right? So you have a blade quenched in chaos, in like dragon blood or Vitter or whatever constitutes chaos in your own mythology, that's used to kill creatures of chaos, right?
Yeah.
So there's this neat duality going on here with the Hust and the Vitter, which is cool, and I'm pointing it out because it's cool. So,
can I also point out that sometime in one of the novels, Ardata's temple has a pool of it.
Yeah, that's
a small pool, right?
temple in Bloodbone.
What an amazing memory. Thank you.
Yeah, no, because we called attention to it and when we read Blood and Bone.
I mean, yeah, but still.
And like Triss manifests in the thing, and the priestess goes and pulls her from the Vitter pool, right?
She does?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I mean, I've read it once, so it's not I remember.
And it's somewhere in Quintali.
Shit, I should read it.
Temple or other. Yeah. We should read the novels again, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
now, scene 3?
Scene 3 is mortality is enunciation of the ineffable. And back to our boys, yes. The boys in question note that the Vator is leaking from somewhere. Now, note, Teleras had made already the same observation in chapter 14, and Moira brought it up, I think. And the builders will inevitably do something about it when they notice. This brings the conversation to the builders, and how Krull doesn't understand them, and I don't either.
Can I just say something silly? But the builders are basically like any normal government. When the builders take notice, they'll do something about it. They answer to no one. They rarely speak.
Okay, we figured that, guys. Like the builders are the government. Okay, great.
They're what all life struggles against.
Yeah.
That whole quote would suit perfectly. Sorry. Can you go on?
So, Skillen considers the possibility that they are guided by forces of nature, ineffable laws, what life eternally struggles against. Like I said, the government. Krull dismisses the idea by saying that the builders are mindless.
Yeah, see?
I'm pausing for effect, but not in the way Skillen means. There is no ulterior meaning to the builders. They are because they are. They're not some ulterior creation bound by natural laws to fulfill some unknown purpose, but rather the tools nature wields to build things in the same way the Vetter destroys. And do you see that metaphor about creation and destruction rearing its head again?
Yeah, see?
Skillen then claims the builders are the makers of worlds, to which Krull replies that worlds are born of cinders of dead stars, violent births, age upon age in every realm, something which Skillen himself has seen.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, go on.
I'll tell you how worlds are born.
Yeah. Go on.
When the Abidan decide that the way is clear, that's when the world is born.
Right. Yeah. Very, very good observation.
You should not give me this much space to talk. I'm sorry. Please go on. I really like that quote. No fire burns true. Mm-hmm. Something is always left behind. That's nice. Mm-hmm. I thought you would like it with your STEM background.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to tell us more about it?
Sure. So apparently there's also an astronomy lesson in this fucking whole episode. So, in case you didn't know, stars are basically large fusion reactors. Okay. Atomic fusion is basically you take two smaller atoms and you combine them in insanely high temperatures and pressures to make bigger atoms. Now, I'm not a physicist, so I can't tell you exactly how it goes, but it vaguely goes hydrogen into helium, which is what our sun does. Helium into I forgot already. Great. Which eventually goes into oxygen, into carbon, oxygen, and ultimately down the line after silicon is iron. Iron is where it can't fuse anymore for different reasons. So when the core fuses into iron, the star starts to build up gravitational pull inside its core because it becomes denser. When it, I'm oversimplifying, but you get the idea. When it crosses a particular threshold, if it's big enough, it collapses in what we perceive as a supernova. It becomes either a black hole or a neutron star, depending on how dense it is. Now, in those supernovae is essentially where every single element in the world that you see that is heavier than iron. Iron has atomic number 32 or so, much lower than that.
Okay.
It's 26, not 32. Atomic number 26. There are a total of 118 elements. So everything heavier than 26, so 27 through 118. Well, 118 aren't actually there because we made some of them, but anything heavier than iron is made in the cinders of dead stars.
Right.
And that which is left behind is often, well, either a neutron star, as mentioned, or a black hole, or some pitiful, sad, brown dwarf-looking thing, which we don't need to worry about.
What do you have against brown dwarfs?
They're small, they're cold, they're tiny, they give off very little light, and they're just sad. They're just sad.
Right.
So yeah, anyway, that's how worlds are born.
I could make an interstellar joke here, but you haven't seen it, so...
So yeah, that's how worlds are born in our reality. Now, I presume that this is the case for Malazan's reality. Now, since we're on the topic of like astronomy, Try from the subreddit once made a very interesting observation way back when, that for reasons which I can't remember right now, the Malazan world may be in the Andromeda galaxy.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's some quote by Korab in the Bone Hunters when they were like riding with Liaman towards Yucatan, and he mentions some strange astronomical like thing in the sky, which you can extrapolate to be Andromeda, or literally trillions of other galaxies. But it's funnier if you think it's Andromeda because it's close. Okay. So yeah.
Nice.
Ask him about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's as far as the universe goes. Now the builders are complicated. Well, no, they're the government. We've gone over this. They're not complicated. But yeah, they are.
You see, there's more. There's one more quote about the builders.
Yeah.
The forces of nature.
Yes.
Will take note of us on occasion, as if we were no more than flies buzzing before the face. Mm-hmm. Exactly. This is how everything works.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Okay, I should go on before I get to the next note. So, yeah.
You should.
Skillen himself has seen those visions of violent births, but he discarded them as mere mirages of a newborn mind, a mind trying to make sense of itself and mostly failing. As for the builders, in that they are forces of nature, they may at times take note of them. Otherwise, they simply ignore them, that is, the Azathani, as is befitting of ephemeral beings such as themselves. As Skillen puts it, mortality is a brief iteration, and an enunciation of the ineffable. Which is a really cool quote.
See? Iteration.
Wow, what did I say?
It is an iteration.
Yeah.
Iteration 112. Oh my god, we are reading that series. Shit.
Oh.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm out of practice.
So, I think this tells us that Azathani were born at some point in existence. Mm-hmm. Unlike the builders, they haven't always existed. So sometime they will stop existing.
Mm-hmm. Right? So
yeah,
I don't entirely remember, to be honest with you. So I know rather for a fact that the Azathani are themselves unaware of their origins. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
What I can also tell you is that in most cosmologies and corroborated by Azathani, the elemental forces with which we have we have made the Azathani in Karkanos synonymous with elemental forces in the Book of the Fallen. In this book, one of them does dispute this notion, so it's very likely that something may have come before the Azathani, but they are personifications, embodiments of those forces. They are close enough to primitive to where I can't see much else coming before them, unless it's like God, right? Like the big guy.
Or what's the guy called in Silmarillion?
Eru Lebedar?
Yeah. So
which one's Morgoth here?
You go to the ocean. Which one is?
Who's Morgoth?
Oh, I've not read it, so I don't know. I'll tell you after I finish it.
Actually, it's Erastus. Obviously, it's Erastus.
Oh, is he the bad guy?
Melkor? He is like the original evil.
Is Erastus really evil?
No, to be fair, Melkor is much more adjacent to, Christian theology because it's Tolkien. But I don't know.
Shall we? We have deviated too much in this episode. I have not read the Silmarillion
enough to know what the fuck I'm talking about, so I'm gonna stop here.
I got a very nice hardbound Silmarillion actually recently.
So, with regards to the builders, both Cruel and Skillen seem to agree that the builders lack higher cognitive function, and indeed free will. Their disagreement seems to stem from the fact that Skillen, in ascribing to the builders the face of life's eternal struggle, posits them as a meaningful metaphor, whereas Cruel believes they exist simply in and of themselves. Now, because this is fantasy, and more specifically because this is Karkanos, I can tell you that the Watsonian answer to the dilemma is probably that Cruel's correct, but the Doylist answer is that Skillen's correct. Does that make sense?
No.
That is,
I don't know what you're trying to say.
I believe the builders are indeed mindless and absent of meaning as far as the books are concerned, but on a metactextual level, do we indeed attain the meanings Skillen ascribes to them? Because, like, in world building, in lore, I do think Cruel's right. I do think the builders are just, like, there. They exist.
Yeah, but just the fact that they are here in this gives them some meaning.
Yeah.
Because we're reading and we are.
Like, if you ask, like, what the origin of what's on in Duelist is, right?
I don't know.
Oh.
Are you to tell me that now?
Yeah, it's like...
What's the...
You ask... So you have a Sherlock Holmes story, right?
Yeah.
And, like, Sherlock figures something out that you probably shouldn't have figured out as easily as he does.
Yeah, of course.
And you ask Dr. Watson how he figured that out. And he gives you some explanation of how he did that in the story, right? He put that, that together.
2 pages of
yeah.
no breaks, and those are my favorite. And if a chapter doesn't have 2 pages of no breaks, I would end up
the Doylist answer is, I needed to move the plot forward. You know, I needed to make Sherlock look smart.
Yeah.
It's like the in-world answer versus the authorial answer. Both of which are valid, by the way. Neither of one is wrong. I think, in general, especially in these books, you should look for the Watsonian answer because it makes more sense within the world and it helps you look further. But to ignore the meaning of why these builders are here, like, we can't just have them because we needed something, you know? Like, they exist for a reason. Cruel and Skillen wouldn't be discussing them if they're not there for a reason. Now, what that reason is and what that meaning might be is left as an exercise to you guys and Mora. What is it that all life struggles against?
We should discuss this dualist thing some more time because...
Sure.
I have some preliminary thoughts on it, but we need to talk about this sometime. Yeah, I didn't know this.
So, I'll leave that as an exercise to the reader and move on. Skillen then remarks that dragons have been around, and we can put together, evidently, that the two are Turtle and Telerast, which isn't ideal for Skillen on account of his pissing off virtually everyone that breathes. I'm sorry, that's not very nice to Skillen. He's trying his best, okay? Though it is uncannily close.
He doesn't care, excuse me. If you're offended, that's your problem. It's not his problem.
Yeah. Though it is uncannily close to what Cruel predicted, leading Skillen to speculate whether or not Cruel's magic grants him a preternatural understanding of the world. He asks then, has Cruel usurped them? Cruel replies that...
Did he?
Yeah, maybe, indeed. But not in the manner of someone like Ardata. At the heart of his empire lies weakness, lies compassion, lies empathy. The path Erastus has set out before the world, by contrast, relies on violence, which ultimately will lead to a dead end. If people kill each other until there are no people, how can sorcery exist? But to prevent that, Cruel requires assistance. Skillen, Ardata, even the Alaint.
So nice.
Cruel is curious as to what holds Ardata the Witcher sore, which I think Mora wants to answer.
I mean, is it because she just loves Triss?
Yeah.
Is it just love?
Yeah.
Is it all?
Yeah, probably.
We just decided that Ardata is too alien for something like... She loves Triss so much that she's just sitting there. I somehow have a hard time believing that. But who knows? Who am I to judge Ardata's feelings?
Perhaps she is there for altruistic purposes, weaving a web to hold things together, and Keenan does point toward this idea as well. Skillen is somewhat less optimistic, and views Ardata's actions with a veil of suspicion, the same veil of suspicion that he casts upon Cruel, because empathy and compassion may be the only thing the ruler of this empire asks of its citizens, but such a path would lead, inevitably, Skillen believes, to doom. The same now may be true of Erastus, but Erastus doesn't much care, because he doesn't think it, like, extremely long-term, because this is going to make him as powerful as ever. Nevertheless, Skillen will stand by Cruel for the time being, the fact that Ardata dislikes him notwithstanding. Great.
Yeah. I mean, the way Skillen says, I won't help you too much, Cruel, because, you assume that he's going to say, because I don't want to die. Instead, he just says, I won't help you too much because I don't want to see you die. To Cruel. Sweet.
Yeah.
See? Buddy cop. That's the vibe they have.
Yeah. As they reach their destination, Cruel ponders how the dragons will end up being the arbiters of what is just, since Ardata will probably make a request of her own, and that, understandably, terrifies Cruel.
So, they start walking.
Yeah.
Oh, your friend is yet to come. He's not.
No, my friend's later. So, yeah.
Your captain, my captain. Yeah.
Scene 4, someone really should kill the suzerain, which,
Oh, is it? Yeah. True. Yeah.
We got to the guest back at Ardata's temple, and his bewildered perspective on the things having occurred. A Thalakai 3 times his size, with an axe bigger than that to boot, 2 dragons having feared enticed women, and Ardata, all of Ardata. All things considered, Osserc feels fairly belittled due to illusions of youth and everything. The temple he's within shows evidence of past violence, as though destroyed by a god or goddess, in a violent rage. Moreover, though he'd long left Coeur Galain, the transformation of his skin hasn't ceased. He is a burnished gold now, and so he sits, aptly, to watch the sundown. Now, I do want to point out that the motif of a destroyed temple evokes Grisen Farl's destruction of the court of the Forlcan to me, but Osserc is in the north, like past Glimmer Fate, which is in the exact opposite direction of where the Forlcan lands lie. Nevertheless,
I thought it was just Ardata getting mad that Triss is lost.
It seems this is older than that.
Older than that, yeah, could be. Yeah.
That's what I got from it.
Could be, but yeah, who knows?
Because they're like rotted bones.
It just mentions.
Right?
True. But bones could rot faster, being so close to the victim.
True. Anyway, nevertheless, it's an interesting thing to note that a temple quite this old, before the fitter, when the builders worked with stone, earth, and trees, may have been destroyed in a god's rage. Because... foreshadowing. Somewhat. Then, Telerast and Curdle proceed to flirt and get very handsy with Osserc in what is honestly a fairly prolonged scene. I'm going to skip most of that. Is that okay? Do you mind?
It's not... They're not flirting. They're like harassing him.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't like it. I mean, it's Telerast and Curdle. Nobody likes it.
Interesting highlights are that the distinction of the relation of Telerast and Curdle isn't relevant. Whether they're sisters, mother and daughter, lover, entirely unrelated, classmates, roommates, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Coeur Galain is very prone to navel-gazing, which, yeah, that tracks. And, more importantly, the blessing of light resists the Vitter, something which Athanae notably cannot do. They also conspire to tell Osserc about the Grey Shore, which they're sure the Tiste will find a name for, which is accurate enough, also. Before going back to wanting to fuck him, Ardata thankfully puts an end to most of that, and the dragons switch to talking about the Vitter. It eats holes through the realms, aided in due part by the newfound presence of sorcery. Ardata looks on disapprovingly, while the dragons fondle Osserc, who doesn't take particularly well to their intentions, but she does agree to bargain further information in return for ensnaring Kilmandaros at the rise of the Grey Shore, long enough for the two of them to claim the Throne of Shadow. Now, while we're not exactly sure how events transpired in the purported sundering, we can quite confidently say this didn't really work out for Telerast and Curdle.
Yeah, I mean, we know by now. Yeah.
A quick primer. We first find them chained in shadow. That's nice.
Exactly.
And they tell Olorethel in Dust of Dreams that they were offered a choice, right? Well, 3 choices. The one being, I quote, the bitch in her fists.
Yeah.
The other being the bastard and sword.
Yeah.
And the third being Edgewalker and his chains.
Okay.
So they chose the chains, and here they are.
Why do you remind me of Edgewalker?
Oh, yeah. No, we shouldn't talk about Edgewalker. It's a pain story. I don't want to talk about it. Curdle purports that... Yeah, look, there's so little information in the books about the bastard. I don't want to talk about it.
Nothing triggers us more than just bringing up Edgewalker.
Curdle reports that the Vitter will lay claim to each aspect of sorcery, wounds, gates, caverns, tunnels, because its hunger for power is limitless. It comes from Cyril Demelin leaking, on account of the Vitter, as pointed out above, literally able to tear holes into realms, all realms, including Eternal Night, with the Queen being sucked up into one such wound. So note, it doesn't quite specify what we talked about earlier. It doesn't quite specify where the Queen of Dreams was. We concluded that she probably was on the dragon side of Cyril Demelin, but we were not sure. Yeah. Now, what I want to point out is what she says. First of all, wounds gates once for each aspect of sorcery, hinting rather generously at aspected gates. And number 2, that the Vitter goes through many realms, and it also purportedly is silver sea in Cyril Demelin. So in the home realm of the dragons, it exists. It's like the ocean, right? And it leaks even into the realm of the suzerain, which is, according to most cosmology, we hear the quintessential notion of order within the Malazan world, right? Darkness is order, personification of order. So the fact that the Vitter leaks into Draconis' realm is neat, because it does kind of foreshadow the conflict between chaos and darkness within Dragonbur, millennia after. So it's a timeless conflict. It's been there since before there was Draconis to speak of, right?
Yes.
Nonetheless, Triste's memories are gone. Well, okay, not quite gone, but more so hidden, though one can probably piece together what happened to her. What is interesting is that Telerast claims Triss held within her the Gate of Light, in much the same way that Draconis held the Gate of Darkness. Now, Triss's sanctification purportedly came from the Vitter, in that she carried a vessel, I don't remember exactly what it was, of Vitter within the throne room, temple room, sanctum thing. This is more interesting, because it means that Triss pulled off something similar to what Draconis had enlisted other people to help to do, which was bind light into stuff, right? And where Erastus used the power of blood to bind darkness into stuff.
Stuff.
Triss used Vitter. Yeah, I mean stuff in this case being leaves, right? It was a wreath of leaves. So stuff.
Yeah, stuff.
Now,
Triss had no stuff.
Yeah.
I think she just blessed him.
Yeah. So the bargain now concluded. Ardata gives the dragons leave to use Osserc, whom she owns now on account of having saved his life, as you do, before they use his soul to seal his gate of Starville Demolane. Cool. Ardata insists, nay, pinky promises, that he won't be in there forever, understand, because nothing lasts forever.
Obviously.
And even then, though he'll suffer in agony, even then, he will emerge more powerful than he was before, because power is exchanged, yada yada, cold fucking comfort. Osserc obviously protests, but Ardata values Kenyan Thrall more than she does Osserc. Ouch. So it will go.
I mean, this is Ardata. Why did we ever feel bad for Skinner?
I don't know. Yeah, he... don't... Yeah, I don't know what you found in her beyond, Jesus, Athena. I don't know. I have many questions regarding Skinner. Yeah, anyway. Scene 5.
Skinner!
Scene 5. They wanted my horse. I objected.
Yes.
3 Jellarkan have been tracking the captain of my heart for some days now, and though he's been steadily heading northward, his horse can only take so much. When it budges, the 3 Jellarkan lunge. Because he's chasing Osserc, of course. As you do.
And bring him back.
Yeah. The 3 Jellarkan lunge, taking the beast in the throat and hindquarters. Scavendari kills one immediately with a lance to the chest, rolls off his dying horse before it crushes him, stabs another Jellarkan in the shoulder, and then through the heart, causing it to fall with so much force it almost takes his arm with it. Recovering his footing, he keeps the 3rd Jellarkan arm's length, advances on it, causing the Jellarkan to retreat, recovering his supplies, his water skin's thankfully intact, and takes off after Osserc once more. The wolf, Scavendari is sure, will eventually give chase, because it's profoundly stupid, but nonetheless, he must needs be careful.
Yeah.
Eventually, he comes upon Osserc's dead horse, untouched by predators or Osserc himself, albeit the saddle and tack aren't present, which is bizarre, before hearing a wolf howl, which sends him into a monologue about mutual destruction and just...
Exactly, yeah, I've highlighted that. I was waiting for that. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on.
No. What is that? It's an exchange neither of us will win. By this, we proclaim our superior intelligence. So, it's the same theme, right?
Yeah. Pondering his own momentous words, he remarks on how they are but narrators of time's senseless plunge ahead, in a manner suggesting that the universe is predetermined. I don't know if you got that. Did you?
Sorry? No, I didn't.
Okay, yeah. So
I think is it just Galan talking about himself? I don't know.
Could be. He talks about as if mere worlds could tilt the world, sway it from its inevitable path, but then what are we but the narrators of time's senseless plunge ahead, with us pilgrims ever eager to raise banners wherever we make a stand. So, in a way, it talks about as though what they do doesn't influence the universe at large, and they're simply struggling against the inevitable, which is interesting, for reasons that will become apparent in a few chapters.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah.
Spoilers.
Then he sees Gruul and Skillen, and the tone changes remarkably. The two Azathani originally confused him for Osserc, with Skabandari correcting them with wrong Tiste, and oh lord, I'm in love. God damn it.
Yeah.
I adore this guy. And how he's on a quest to retrieve a wayward child, one unmindful of what modest responsibilities they may possess. The Soul taken on his trail wanted his horse, to which Skabandari promptly objected, and the third wolf has now grabbed the attention of Skillen, who is about to deliver a message to the poor Jellic.
Exactly. Look, it's so awesome.
Palpable regret, like I said. Cruel invites Skabandari to join their journey. If nothing else, he would prove enlivening conversation, to which Skabandari agrees and inquires on the ability of Cruel's pet to speak.
Oh, so sad. Yeah.
Skillen, still not speaking with Skabandari, concurs with his assessment of the wolf's stupidity and decides to chase it off. Skabandari pleads for a measure of mercy, which touches Skillen and leads to his forgiving Skabandari's earlier claim of his being Cruel's pet. Did I mention I really like Skara? I don't think I did.
Not so fun, no.
Cruel inquires as to Skabandari's identity and tells him he must be marching to the Grey Shore, a place he is destined to reach in some manner of its own, though a place that has not yet risen. Again, that notion of being of predetermination and fate and destiny in a series that hasn't really made use of that much. It's not like we have, well, it's really not the same way like Wheel of Time does. But it is interesting to see that it exists, this notion of predetermination, of like things happen and we're just like pawns on a large board or whatever. Read Backer. Yeah. Backer does a lot more than this. I'm not one to talk about this. Anyway, Skabandari decides he's going to enjoy their conversations, and Cruel concurs. He's been stripped of good partners since Skillen's current form doesn't lend itself to fascinating conversation. Skillen, having no doubt scared the Jellic shitless, returns with the newfound trio, setting off to find Osserc if he's still alive, and worse yet, they must converse with dragons. Against which, Cruel's frustrations with Skillen seem to pale. Nevertheless, they're almost there, so might as well. 2 more scenes. We're almost done.
Is this the last? Or 2 more? Okay, yeah.
So scene 6 is a very short one. It's from Kanan's POV. Let us not call this love, then, because love must be everywhere in this chapter. Kanan's wound has presumably been infected, and he's now fevered. Probably not long for the world, given Ardata's healing hasn't worked out. In his fever dream, he believes he hears 2 women argue, but no, those are just Curdle and Teleras with Osserc. Oh, joy. The 2 dragons are evidently soul-taken, possessing the blood of the first Tiste, which helps to explain their obsession with power.
And thrones.
So, yeah.
So this is where we hear about the soul-taken Elend.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't yet come across them, right?
No, not as such.
Okay, no, let's go on.
So I do want to mention...
These 2 lovebirds are talking.
I do want to mention, like, regarding the first Tiste, they are basically nigh mythologized figures by now, and we will get more on them in the future chapters. And the few mentions we do get have a common theme, and that is that the first Tiste had comings and goings with dragons.
Yeah.
Arathan gives us the Age of Gifts, before Light's birth, when chaos found its way into the Tiste souls. And Herat gives us a creation allegory of the first Tiste heroes slaying Tiam and drinking her blood to become as gods. And look, I waited 2 years to talk about this damn thing. Here, the pattern is inverted, wherein the dragons are the ones that have presumably drank the blood of the first Tiste so as to become soul-taken, which is... I don't know if it's like done in ritual or if they just ate them and then, forgot.
Shit, I never thought about it that way.
Thrusting Kanan's self-pity aside, Ardata tries to make up her mind regarding what to do. Osserc's soul can seal the gate, but if she leaves Curdle and Thilrest here, they'll probably just block him right back. Except they might not, because of the presence of yet more dragons through Gillian, which would be called, and on and on and on. Ultimately, she concludes that she must bring back Triss, and leaves to pluck Osserc from the arms of Curdle and Thilrest. Kanan's final few thoughts are that Ardata's touch yet remains, since in his delirium he believes spiders are hatching in his skin. Yay. Great imagery. Thanks, Steve.
Because I've not read the next few chapters, so I don't know. So maybe it doesn't come up, but maybe there are really spiders hatching under his skin. I wouldn't put it past Ardata. So,
usually it's over his skin, right? With Skinner, it was over his skin, not under his skin, so...
That's an armor.
Yeah, but even so. Anyway.
Maybe she healed him with spiders. Oh my god, what if those fractures were like healed, repaired using spiders? Oh my god.
Maybe.
That could work, actually.
Anyway, scene 7. Take note of my extraordinary self-control in that I am not, at the moment, strangling you.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, reaching the temple where Ardata and company reside, a shriek tears the air which prompts Skabandari to ask the only reasonable question, what the fuck was that? Cruel assures them that everything is fine, in as much as things can be fine while dealing with Azathani, though Ardata's hesitation comes not from the fact that Osserc is currently shrieking, but rather the presence of Cruel and Skillen. 2 dragons move up to the wound, presumably to escape Skillen Row, though Cruel stays him for the moment. Skabandari questions the veracity of Cruel's motives. You want to talk to the dragons with this assassin lizard motherfucker in tow? But Cruel reassures him that dragons are arrogant, and indeed idiotic enough, to stay and fight Skillen if it comes to it rather than flee.
Yeah.
The shrieking abruptly stops, which Skabandari interprets as not good news, and so quickens his pace, only to find Ardata with a scared, weeping Osserc on the floor beneath her. Skillen lands beside her, and Cruel comes up behind Skabandari, noting the, unfortunate circumstances they found themselves in. Skabandari has absolutely no fucking time for any of this. He's here to take Osserc, and by God, he'll do so. Or die trying. Yeah. Which is vastly more likely. But it doesn't matter. He's cool as fuck. I like him. Cruel prefers some portents regarding a storm of dragons coming up if the gate isn't sealed. But Skabandari doesn't give a fuck. Cruel Gully needs this man, and Skabandari didn't come all this way for nothing. Have I mentioned I really like... I don't think I mentioned I really like Skabandari. Anyway. Ardata is unimpressed by Skabandari's display. More stupidity. But Cruel's presence discomfits her due to his sorcery defying her, and she didn't exactly want to see Skillen again, so you see the dilemma. Nevertheless, Cruel asks Ardata that... Cruel tells Ardata that there are bargains to be made, and asks her to recall the dragons. Now, I do want to mention, because I think we had a disagreement regarding this, that the shrieking, which Skabandari hears and then doesn't, presumably has to do with Ardata trying and presumably failing to do Cruel's interference to rip out Osserc's soul to force him to the gate. Which is can't feel good, right? I mean, I don't think it feels very good. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know, because he's shrieking his terror at the fate awaiting him. So I don't think she has started doing anything yet.
She does mention...
It's just that he's been
She does mention that
raped and...
Cruel is interfering with her magic, though. So I think... I don't know, maybe not.
She just sends them and stop, but he's just been raped by these two, so... Mm-hmm. He's shrieking, so...
Maybe.
I don't know, he doesn't need to be... Yeah.
Anyway. So, Skabandari then steps up and tells Ardata to kick rocks. Yeah. Because Osserc is his. She finds this quaint and tells Skabandari that she'll have to kill him if she can't find a better replacement. At which point, Osserc wakes up and shrieks to take him instead. Perhaps,
Yeah, good guy. Good guy, Osserc.
Are we seriously? Okay. Look.
Yeah?
There are a lot of things to badmouth Osserc for. He's a terrible dad. He's not a very good leader.
Not yet.
He's arrogant. Yeah. He's a prick. But he's young. He's like a kid, barely into adulthood. And he has been currently getting his soul ripped out by Azathani and has been molested by 2 dragons for the past hour. I think we can forgive him this.
We should, but still.
Because I think there are so many things to talk shit about Osserc, and people choose this one where it might be the only understandable thing he does.
I mean, it's just that he just now said take Karen Thrall, even though his leg is broken. And then now, it's just that we've followed Skabandari, who has come all this way, just to fetch him back. And he has so much love. He's saying he's the only son. He needs to do his job. I'm here to take him back. No matter, he's standing up to Ardata to save Osserc. And this is his prickiest moment yet.
I mean,
which is understandable.
We can forgive him his prickiest moment. And he does fix it, make amends later.
Maybe. He does?
Yeah, he does. Look, I'm sorry I fucked up. I'm shamed before you. I look awful. I feel awful. And I have nothing to work with.
Is it all in this chapter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fine. Okay. Right. So, now how does Cruel bargain? This is the best part of this
that's when Cruel drops a bomb. Because turns out, neither Tiste is suitable for sailing Starville Demolane. Because every living Tiste carries the blood of the elite. And will therefore attract every fucking dragon in Starville Demolane onto the gate.
So, hold on. In Told the Hounds, we were told that some of this bad guy Tiste went and drank TM's blood, and so they got dragon blood, and so they became soul taken. And that's why Mother Dark got mad and turned away from them. And what do we find here? all of them have the blood of the elite. Every one of them. So yeah, fun. That's all I have to say.
A couple observations. Hold that thought. It's a good thought. So, yeah, do you remember how I brought 10 minutes ago, I brought up the creation myth? Yeah, with the first Tiste here slaying a dragon goddess and drinking her blood to become so powerful that the Azathanai had to step in. That's a thing. Also, in chapter 18, Solana just says draconian blood may linger in the blood of the Tiste, which would make their civil wars no surprise. As for that which you brought up, is a very good observation. Hold that thought for a couple of chapters. But also, we know dragon blood is in itself hereditary, right?
Yeah.
That's why Menandor's son has it. That's why Amander has it. That's why, all those people who haven't actually conducted the ritual have it. So my presumption, and this is an assumption, and it is somewhat backed up through Rudd, but I'm not sure exactly, because we don't have a timeline here, right? We don't know. But the further away you go from the original individual to have done the ritual and consumed dragon blood or whatnot, it thins to the extent where you may not be able to have access to your soul taken form anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I bring this up is because Rudd is a third generation Elite, is what everyone said. Sulka says it, Udina says it.
So he's smaller?
He's both smaller and he's less, morphed or manipulated, driven. I can't find the right word. Less changed, let's say.
Chaotic.
Yeah, less chaotic. Less chaotic. Let's put it that way. Which is why Telgash trusts him enough to bring him along rather than kill him where he stands. So I'm assuming that's what's going on here. That Anomander did it again at some later date when he shouldn't have. Which, okay, we do also get, by the way, hold that thought as well. We learn Anomander does that because he seeks to unite the Tiste after a civil war. But he doesn't mention the Leosan. It's the Andi which he fights a war against.
What?
He mentions, rather explicitly, the names of a few individuals, among them, Hishtula, Anut Tagala, and Manal. All of which are Andi Highborn.
Yeah.
All of which he presumably had to fight after whatever the fuck went down, after, as Solgas puts it, the jealous rage of the consort was unleashed after the marriage of Dark and Light, which happens, we know that. After all of that happens, there's another civil war in which Anomander has to go do the Dragonblood thing. Is this my way of saying this entire book is pointless and everyone's dying for no reason? Yes. Is this Galan's way of saying that it's pointless? Also yes.
No. It's just a way of saying, wait for the third book.
I don't think we'll see it in the third book. That's the thing.
It's okay.
But
it will suffice.
It will suffice. Anyway, Ardata is understandably nonplussed by this, accusing the Elite of false bargaining, to which they reply that at no point did they suggest that Ardata ought to use Osserc to seal the gate, hence no false bargaining take place. Indeed, they hinted at the possibility of aspected gates, and I checked, I brought it up, they actually did.
Why did they do that? Because they are
generous.
Naturally generous.
Yeah. But Ardata failed to take the hint in her hubris and arrogance. How sad.
Yeah.
Cruel steps in to offer Skillen's soul to seal the gate as a bona fide for their bargain with the Elite, which is a thing.
Aww.
Yeah. Skelenar takes the moment to aid Osserc and bring him to his feet before Curdle and Talara step in. Cruel's offer is enticing, but there's a catch. There's always a catch. Cruel needs their aid in guarding his warrens, and to that end, he wishes to enlist the help of the Elite. Ardata objects, because of course she does, and says that these two wish to claim the throne of Shadow and will thereby defy him. Cruel insists, saying that he has no expectation beyond taking the message to their Elite kin. Beyond that, they're free to pursue their own goals.
Yeah.
Now, I want to bring up Warren, as I think Curdle says, is indeed a very good name for the focal points of the distribution of cruel sorcery throughout the world, because they're the gates of sorcery, right? They are crags, caverns, tunnels, warrens in the Vitter, right?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Though new gates may spawn sporadically, Aloth, Oh, by the way, this is why warrens talk.
Exactly.
I think Mora brought this up to me.
I wanted to talk about this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, here.
So, Mokra, whenever, Saran, when she gets into Mokra, and she can hear Mokra talking back to her. And apart from that, whenever Shadow comes up, remember, I don't know which mage, he thinks that this Shadow seems a bit different. Shadow is always so laughing and playful type of a magic, but this one doesn't feel like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
He feels that at some point.
That's Culp, Gates, probably Bottle and Bone Hunters and so on, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this is my warren stock. Nice to know.
Yeah. So these crags, warrens, gates seem to be the main gates that the Lane are to occupy and guard from, which does offer a reason for why Starval Demolane is quite so important. It contains the focal points, the fulcra, if you will, of cruel sorcery.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
From Gardens of the Moon, when they start talking about warrens, and there are, what does the Tattersale say? Something about some warren, elder warrens or something. And then Tool says, no, not Tattersale, sorry, Lone and Tool talk, right? And then it says, no, the oldest warren is called Starval Demolane.
Yeah.
The Gate of the Dragons.
Yeah.
So, at this point in the story, the pre-Imas dog runners, this is all their lore knows, right? They're just living their life. Suddenly a gate appears and dragons come through and there's magic. So that is the first warren of this world, Starval Demolane, the home of the dragons. So it's so cool how this ties in with Gardens of the Moon. As much as we like to say Carcanos doesn't give us anything, lore-wise, it has given us so much stuff.
I think the dichotomy of the differences between Carcanos and Book of the Fallen are a very interesting topic, which I want to get into, but I never have the time. But there's a lot there, and a lot of it can be explained away as allegory by both sides, which is something that I do eventually want to get into, and I've been trying to do it throughout our summaries, but it's a lengthy topic, and there are a lot of books in this world, so one day. For the time being, though.
Yeah.
So, the dragons accept and promptly take off, leaving the group somewhat bewildered until Kanan Thrall steps up and offers himself a sacrifice, at which point Skillen unceremoniously promptly grabs him, seals the gate with his soul, and crosses through into Starval Demolane. Ardata shrieks.
Does Kanan offer himself? Sorry.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Oh, he says, he does. Okay.
Yeah.
The gate is sealed.
Ardata shrieks at this and accuses Cruel of deceit, then claims that the dragons will tear Skillen apart, though that didn't go terribly well last time, and then accuses Scavendari. This entire exchange is frankly hilarious to me, but it does capture something of Ardata's essence of nigh alien petulance and callousness. She's not mad that Skillen sealed the gate with Kanan, she's mad that he did it without permission.
Yeah.
You didn't ask.
Yeah. Yeah. But now, Cruel has more bargains.
Yeah. Ardata turns to leave, but Cruel intercepts her with a further bargain, and though Ardata is frustratingly obtuse, he does eventually get through. Cruel wants her to ensnare the dragons using webs, or more accurately here, chains, so that they can't leave their post of guardianship whenever they wish. Cruel also wants her to sew up the carcass of Corabas, since Hood is about to open a gate onto the Warren of Death, which prompts Ardata to tell Cruel that it takes a large amount of self-control to not strangle him.
My faith in you is well-founded.
Yeah, as ever. Now, that opening of the gate will presumably resurrect Corabas. In return, Cruel will read Ardata to Triss, since no Azathana can hope to hide from Cruel's sorcery now. A few more pleasantries are exchanged between Azathana, a deal is formalized, and the two of them walk into the temple, leaving Osserc and Scavendari alone outside.
Yeah.
Osserc is a pitiful mess, regretting his very existence, with the experience having led him to a comprehension of the truth of his own pathetic soul. I will note again that he's a kid, and that you should feel bad about him. Poor guy.
I do feel bad for him, but yeah.
Skara, ever the pragmatist, first considers the needs of the journey. They have no horses, and they have no supplies, but he also contends that the journey back will forge Osserc a new soul, with regret at its temper. They will head back to Carcanos and see what there is to be seen of one another. Also, they're not staying here for another moment, because who knows what else the Azathanai will ask of them.
Yeah. We were the Azathanai bearing gifts, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the end of the chapter.
Awesome.
Yeah. It
was a fun chapter.
It was. Excepting the weird sex shit with dragons, but we all get some weird sex shit sometimes. Yeah.
We just skip through them, yeah. I mean, the next chapter begins with Lazarus.
So. But Lazarus is not weird sex shit. It's like bona fide sex shit. It's like he embraces the weird sex shit.
Excuse me. Yeah. Okay, so should we wind up? Do you have anything more to add?
I think I've added most things that are pertinent to this chapter. Stay tuned, because there is a lot more in the next 4 chapters. Four. Lovely.
Four more.
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening. It has been a pleasure. I have been Lee.
Yeah. I'm Maura. Thank you.
Thank you, and good night.
Good night.